Slouser here, and today I will be going over how I got 10k points on Roots of War. I'm telling you now, it is extremely hard to get points on Roots of War as an infantry main, or even merits. Anything to do what requires damage, it's much harder as an infantry main. My main march, as you can see, is Madeline Awakened and Garwood 5222. Now I know if you are free to play or low spender, you won't really have these, but to be honest, as long as you have a tanky infantry, it will be the same. So if you are low spender or free to play, I would recommend either a Madeline with 5111 with Eliana or with Garwood and Eliana. Either one that still makes you tanky. And my secondary march is, well, an attacking infantry. I don't want to have two tanky infantry because then it might be a bit boring. I have one extremely tanky and one just more attacking, just a chance to have more points or have fun when I want to just go for kills. So now, as you can see, this is how I got loads of points. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, infantry don't get that many points. You can have 5 marches surrounding you. You could last a long time doing some counter damage and just maybe even beating one of those marches. You still end up not getting that many points. Sadly, it's just we don't do damage, and most of the time your teammates will come and help defeat those marches, so you don't actually get many points. So joining every single rally you can, that is where you get the points. Throughout the whole Roots of War, I just non-stop, as soon as I see a rally appear, joined. I didn't care. Even you'll see later in the video, I had remaining like 15k archers and I still joined because, you know, those 15k will still help at least fill up the rally, but also it'll help me get some points. I will mention, since I'm recording this after the Roots of War, sadly I was at work, so I had to record this on my iPad, but at least it gives me the chance to now basically review what I did right and what I did wrong, as well as, yeah, speak to you guys and try and give you some tips and advice how to get those 10k points as infantry. Sometimes I'm gonna just remove this webcam just to let you witness some of the amazing battles we had, because yeah, some of them were great. It honestly looks so good. So this is one of my examples. I believe the Poseidon guy's a T5 player, so he was doing crazy damage on me. But for example, I'm not gonna get that many points from this battle. Even though all 5 are attacking me, I'm just not gonna get that many. Even if he was a low rated player or lower, let's say he was still a T4 player, I would get more points, but it still wouldn't be like 1,000 points for this, because I've been in many battles where I'm surrounded and it just doesn't give me that many points. But in the end, of course it helps. I'm not saying if you see a march, there's no point fighting them because you're not gonna get points. No, still fight, still help your team, still get, even if it's 50 points or 100 points, it still adds up. You have an hour to get up to that 10k points, so you still need to battle as much as you can. But there will be times where I was wrong and I put more troops in the hospital when I shouldn't have. So that's why I'm gonna make sure to mention that, so you don't do the same things. This is my attacking infantry, as I said. I think I shouldn't have done this. I mean, I don't think I should have brought this march out. I don't have enough troops yet for my infantry to have 2 full marches. I'm hoping the next time I do a big push, then I will. But currently I didn't. I only had less than 200k. So I feel this was just a waste, and I put extra troops into the hospital, meaning it's harder for my main march to fill up. I want to have a full march coming out onto the field. So this advice is to any other player. No point sending out 2 infantry marches if one's full and one's half, and then when they both die, now you're struggling to fill up just 1 full march. It just wastes your main march. As you could see here, 12 minutes in and we were 5 players down. It was actually, I think for the first 5 to 10 minutes we might have been 7 players down, but yeah, it was like this for a while. We had less players pretty much the whole match. I think in the end we ended up with 29 players, so we were still 1 player short, but yeah, we were at disadvantage. And 5 players is a big thing, because that's 5 extra marches. 5 times 5, 25 marches we could have had extra on the field. Or even if they were gathering, that still could help get us more points. Or like I said in the beginning of this video, if they want to get points, just join rallies. The bigger the rallies, the better we have chances of taking some of these buildings. Again, just showing that every time there was a march available, I will just put troops in there for those points. See, before this, I used to just either send out a march and gather, but after this, I realized you get a lot more points from rallies. So I'm always going to be joining rallies and going open field from now on. Gathering is nice, and if you don't have enough troops to fill rallies, or if all the rallies are taken and you just have a random march doing nothing, then yeah, I would go gathering. You must always make your marches do something.
I prefer to call him His Majesty. Where are you running? No more delay. You stay alert. Only I decide who I am. Where are you running? You overestimate yourself.
So what happened here, as you can see, they had a rally going for one of our buildings. I already had archers in there, but my archers are weak. So there's no point them being in there, doing hardly any damage and giving me hardly any points. So I sacrificed my archers, took them out, and just put my infantry in there. And this is a good way of getting points as well. Not only do joining rallies, taking over buildings get you good points, but defending them as well, because you have to think a rally could have 1 million players, 1.5 million players. And if you're defending, you're getting a good amount of points, because that's a lot of troops.
I am always on guard. Shall we play green? Show yourself and face me. I must redouble my efforts.
See, I just love the battles in this game, man. They're just so fucking cool. I deserved to swear there, because it looks so epic. And look, this is why I've always said, and I'm glad now people are realizing, because I've said this since day one, this is why you need Madeline and Garwood, or Madeline and Garwood with Eliana. Basically as tanky as possible, because you're the one in the front lines. If you have Nika or Bakar, who I don't think anyone would, you're just gonna die quicker. You need to be as tanky as possible so you can be at the front line, attack whoever's the opponent's at the front, and let your team attack from behind.
I was just thinking about doing. Only I decide who Yargin shall not fall. Where are you running? Only I decide who I am.
Now this was just, I just want to say this was like a beautiful movie moment. It just looks so good. You're seeing battles all around this area, and then you see the Hydra fighting off some of their troops. It's just a nice shot. And while I'm just trolling this player and catching them off guard and not letting them get away, which they could have just flown off, but hey, that's their choice. I just want to say, if you are liking this video and it's actually helping you out, if you're an infantry main or just a Call of Dragons fan in general and you're enjoying this video, I would appreciate it if you left a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date whenever I post another Call of Dragons video. Just more battles again, getting surrounded. It helps with points again, but it's not gonna get me those 10k points. It will help towards it. I don't know why I don't have any more marches out. I think I was just too occupied at this moment, clearly, since I'm recording it. But what I did wrong here, this is one of those moments where I did wrong. I'm too confident sometimes with my tank. And look, don't get me wrong, my tank is actually very solid. But why am I in a battle where I barely have any of my team, but they have a lot more marches on the opponent's side? All this does is fill up my hospital more. So this is one of those moments where don't be like me, don't be a bum. Don't just charge in when your opponents have 10 marches out there and you're just yourself with one other. Unless your other teammate's a T5 player, don't waste it. Just retreat, wait for reinforcements, and then go and attack. This is another way of getting many points. Similar to joining a rally, if your opponents have filled up a building and you don't need to rally, join it. Just attack like this because you can get solid points from it. You can get between 500 to 1,000 points. Honestly, you can get solid points from these, depending, of course, how many troops are in these buildings. Now, something I did here what I felt was wrong. After defeating this opponent who stopped us from getting the, well, I don't even know what it's called, the stone, I picked up the stone. Now, if you're near one of your buildings, then yeah, take it, because that can give you a solid 300 points. But I took it and we didn't even have, and at the time we didn't have the nature building. I think it's called, yeah, Hall of Nature. So I had to walk all the way to the healing building. And as an infantry, I'm slow. Look how slow I am. And all this does is just waste a few more seconds or even minutes for your team to hopefully put the stone in the base and then possibly get another stone to appear in the match. Because at this point we were still behind in points. I think we were like 8k behind at this point, so we needed as many points as possible. Maybe 7. It was like 6, 7 or 8k, but regardless, we were behind and we needed as many points as possible. So I feel like this was a bad mistake. Maybe if it was early game, it's okay. But again, I still think as an infantry main, as much as how nice it would be to get those extra points, I think it's best to leave it to cavalry to take the stone, so it can at least get into the building as quick as possible so you can get more points for your team. The only plus I would say is what I got from this was I was able to tank a lot of hits for my team to arrive to protect me. Unfortunately, I still die. But of course, we had to look at our team. You know, we had so many members here. We were going to secure this stone, and we did. As you can see at this point, yeah, we were 8k down. Then with the stone, we were, well, yeah. Oh, I thought it was 3k points. It's 5k. Shit, that's pretty sick. But again, it just backs up my point is I shouldn't have been walking with it because I was just too slow. And at this point, I think we were running out of time, so we just had to do as much as we could, rallies and attacking our opponents just to push them back, just to try and get as much points as possible. See, this is fine to go right in there because I'm making some of the opponents focus on me, which is a good thing because I am the tank. I want them to focus on me, thinking they can kill me within 2 seconds, but clearly I can't. Giving my team a chance to attack them and then, yeah, kill them.
Jargon shall not fall. Our soldiers
And as we see, we were just over 2k below their points. And look, we only had 29 combatants. Again, I don't know when we actually got to 29. It might have been halfway in the match. It might have been a third in the match. I don't know. But as I've shown in the beginning of the video, at least for the first 12 minutes, we were 5 players down. And I believe the first 5 minutes, we were like 10 players down. We had a slow start. So I truly believe if we had our 30 players from the beginning, just like them, I'm confident we would have won. But nevertheless, as you can see, I also got the 10k points. It would have been nice with the win because you get more tokens, but it was nice getting 10k points for the first time. So there you have it. Me basically just trying to explain how to get 10k points. Just to summarize it, always join rallies. And if you can't because you don't have enough troops, even though if you have 1,000 troops, still do it. But let's say you don't have any more, then gather. You must gather or join rallies, but rallies is the priority. Number 2, just because you're a tank does not mean you can just go in front, fight multiple marches, but then you only have one backup. No, try and stick with your team so your hospital doesn't fill up, because you want to just be able to spam out your main march. As soon as you're dead, bring them back out. As soon as they're dead, bring them back out, and so on. Number 3, which continues with that, if you're going to bring out a second march, make sure you have enough troops that when they're both defeated, you can bring out your main march again. I don't think you can bring out your second march again at that point because you have too many in the hospital. Unless you're a whale or high spending player, then yeah, this doesn't matter to you. But for mid spenders, low spenders, free to plays, my mistake was to bring out the second march. From now on, I'm only going to bring out one until, as I mentioned, I have enough for 2 full marches. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's for the battles because they were sick, or if I've given you some tips and advice to help you when you're doing Roots of War as an infantry main, then that's even better. With that all being said, Slouser is out.